Hello, and welcome back to episode 2. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is our Mindful Minecraft series, Hardcore. If you have not been here before, welcome. In the series, we play some Minecraft in the background. This is our survival series, but the main focus is on a podcast style conversation where we talk about different life topics, things that are relevant to today's world. Last episode, we talked about integrity and its importance on society and ourselves, our relationships. Go check it out if you haven't already. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that shapes every part of our lives, and yet most of us rarely pause to reflect and think about it. Perspective. Not just how we see the world, but how the way we see becomes our world. How it affects our choices, our relationships, our goals, and even our sense of selves. So while I'm playing, I invite you to reflect with me on how perspective might be one of the most powerful tools you already have, and how we can use this tool to our benefits instead of being completely consumed by it. So what is perspective? Perspective is more than opinion. It's the lens we see everything through. It's how we interpret reality, how we assign meaning to things that happen to us. Think about this. Two people can live through the same exact event and walk away with completely different interpretations of it. One might see failure, the other sees a lesson. One feels attacked, the other sees a chance for growth. Your perspective isn't just a filter, it's a foundation. It's like a domino effect. It shapes how you react, how you plan, how you dream, and it starts forming long before you're even aware of it. Think about how much your perspective is influenced by what you've seen in your life. Your family, your culture, the media you consume, the people you follow, your past experiences. Even your mood in the moment can greatly influence how you perceive an interaction. These influences often lead to a sort of autopilot where you are responding not necessarily to what is, but what your perspective tells you it is. Have you ever noticed how on a bad day everything feels 10 times worse? The world didn't change, but your perspective did. That's how powerful it is. And when you forget that, we fall into the trap of thinking our perspective is the truth and only the truth. You can see why this could be dangerous. In today's society, loud opinions are valued, but taking the second to step back, reflect, put yourself in other people's shoes is essential to creating an understanding where you become a more well-rounded person. You are able to see different views, different experiences, and understand where you fit into the world without this lens that you've created for yourself. Taking off the lens is the difficult part, especially when you're not challenged to do so. Oftentimes we are in our own worlds, our own communities, our own countries, where we only see the same values and ideas spread around in a loop. Meanwhile, there's completely different places in the world, people in the world that have completely different experiences, views, different life challenges that we couldn't even think of. I'm not saying this to feel bad for other people or to feel better than other people, but it's important to understand how $10 to us can only buy us an ice cream versus $10 in a different country can be life-changing. That's an extreme example, but I think it does a good job of showing how one's perspective, if stuck in the same place without taking yourself outside of your own views, can get very toxic and lead to a rabbit hole of self-absorption. And sometimes we don't even realize just how deep that programming in us goes. If you grew up in a household that treated emotions as weakness, you might see vulnerability as dangerous. If you were taught that success only looks a certain way, you might overlook the ways you already have been thriving and succeeding. One person's failure could be your success. This is why self-awareness is so key. Without it, you're not making choices, you're just reenacting patterns from others. Perspective isn't passive, it's built, reinforced, and if you're not careful, it becomes a prison that limits your own potential. Here's the thing, life becomes richer when you see beyond your own lens. Being able to step into someone else's perspective doesn't mean you have to agree with them. It means you understand them. And that's the birthplace of empathy. Most conflict in the world, whether personal or global, exists because people are stuck in their own perspectives. We see this online all the time. People yelling past each other, not even trying to understand. We build chambers instead of bridges. But imagine if we had the ability to take a step back just for a moment and we tried to understand why someone believes what they do. What shaped their lens? What life experiences did they live through to become to the person they are today and have these views? Even in relationships, being able to pause and ask, what are they seeing right now that I'm not? Can stop a fight before it even starts. It takes humility to realize your perspective isn't the only one that exists, but that humility is what makes space for growth and connection. You'll find this ability is especially powerful when you're facing misunderstanding, criticism, or rejection. Instead of immediately reacting, you step back and say, what might this look like from their side? It creates resilience. Of course, we are not mind readers. We may never know the true intentions of somebody or their perspectives, but seeing other perspectives doesn't weaken your own. It deepens it. It expands your world and makes you a better communicator, a better friend, a better leader, a better family member, even a better version of yourself. Now, the power of perspective. Here's the part that I think we don't talk about enough. You can choose your perspective. Yes, outside factors shape it, but you are not powerless. Every time you face something hard, you get to decide, is this the end of the story or just a tough chapter? You choose to believe life is happening to you or for you. You can choose to see failure as shame or as feedback. You can choose to see other people as competition or collaborators. That choice doesn't always come easily, especially when emotions are high or you feel like you're in survival mode. But with practice, you can train yourself to pause and reframe. I don't want it to sound like I'm being overly positive. It's not pretending everything is good when it's not. It's about recognizing that meaning is made, not given, and you're the one who makes it. I'm going to say that again because that's a quote that I pulled, and I think it means so much on so many different levels. It's about recognizing that meaning is made, not given, and you're the one who makes it. There's incredible power in choosing to look at things differently, to ask, what can this teach me, instead of why is this happening to me? Have that victim mindset, to say maybe there's more than this that I can't see right now. That power that I keep referencing lies in between that initial reaction you have and your response, where you get to decide what that moment means to you. Not only what it means, but how you respond. It's the ultimate self-empowerment and tool. You may not control everything, but you will always control how you see it and how you respond. Like I said, this is a tool or like a skill that needs to be developed. Oftentimes, you can jump to quick conclusions, have rash decision making, outbursts. All those things show lack of discipline and lack of perspective. Just to take a mental break here, we finally got some diamonds. That's huge. This cave was scary. It was dangerous, but thankfully we were able to make it out alive. Also, thank you so much for listening. If you are here right now listening, you're a real one. Appreciate it. Anyways, back to our last couple bits of info. Of course, I understand that there are people with anger issues or cases where you are not able to control your emotions right away. It's tough. I'm not saying that those aren't valid feelings in themselves, but having this tool and being able to consciously use it can definitely add to your life and allow for a happier life, I believe. So as we get to the time lapse, I want to ask you, what perspectives are you living in right now? Are they helping you grow or are they holding you back? What would change if you were able to step outside of those negative perspectives that are holding you back? Or if you tried seeing from someone else's angle? Or if you've reframed the story you've been telling yourself? This isn't easy work. It takes reflection, it takes honesty, but the rewards are huge. Clarity, peace of mind, empathy, growth. These are all things I strive for, and I'm not perfect, but I work towards them consciously. Not to sound negative, but you cannot always change the world or the people who live in it. But the way you interpret experiences in your life, that is something I truly believe can be controlled for our mental well-being through the power of perspective. And that concludes episode 2 of Mindful Minecraft. Please enjoy the rest of my building time lapse. Thank you so much if you're listening to this and you were able to listen through all of that. Trying my best out here to make this content understandable. Hard to express my thoughts into words sometimes, so this is good practice. But if you're able to relate to anything, I would love to hear it. Tell me in the comments. Thank you so much for listening and have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in episode 3.